What if the very thing he's running from is the sacred material meant to build your home? Let's be honest, you've felt the pattern. The connection deepens, a moment of breathtaking closeness unfolds, and then the subtle retreat. A door you didn't even see gets pulled shut. You're left in the hallway of your own heart, holding the echo of what just was, wondering what you did wrong. The scripts were given. He's afraid of commitment. He's emotionally unavailable. They feel true, but they scratch only the surface. They don't explain the profound, almost reverential terror in his eyes just before he pulls away. They don't explain why your purest love can feel to him like an existential threat. I want to invite you into a different understanding, one that reframes everything. Imagine his soul not as a fortress to be stormed, but as a centuries-old, intricate clockwork mechanism. Every gear and spring was painstakingly set in childhood to perform one function: to protect a core, fragile truth he learned to see as a fatal flaw. Your love isn't a key trying to pick this lock. It's a different frequency of vibration. When you come near, your energy resonates through the entire apparatus. The gears he thought were his identity begin to tremble. The protective casing feels like it might fly apart. His retreat isn't rejection. It's the instinct of a system in overload, desperately trying to maintain its familiar, lonely tick-tock in the face of a beautiful, overwhelming symphony. We spend so much time analyzing the blueprint of the walls he's built, thinking if we can just find the right door, we can get in. But what if the goal isn't entry? What if it's resonance? Your steady, unwavering presence, your own symphony played with calm confidence, doesn't force his mechanism to stop. It offers a new rhythm. Gradually, almost imperceptibly, a single gear inside him begins to sync with your tempo. Then another. It's not a demolition, it's a recalibration, and the core truth he was guarding, the one he thought would destroy him if seen, it turns out to be the very pendulum your rhythm needs to keep perfect time. His deepest fear is not the obstacle to your union, beautiful soul. It's the conductor, waiting in the shadows for the right music to begin. And you, perhaps without even realizing it, have already learned the score. Let's talk about the quiet tragedy, the one that plays out not in dramatic shouts, but in the silent, hollow space after a door closes a little too softly. You see, the most painful thing about his distance isn't that he doesn't see your light. It's that he sees it too clearly, and in its brilliant, unforgiving glare, he doesn't see a partner, he sees a verdict. Here's the mystery we so often miss. His running isn't a flight from you, it's a preemptive strike against his own future failure. Think about that for a second. It's not that he believes he'll lose you. It's that he's utterly, bone-deep convinced he will deserve to lose you. His wound isn't a whisper. It's a master narrator, and it's been writing the third act of your story since the first chapter began. It says the ending is already known. He will be found lacking. He will disappoint. He will be the man who fumbled the sacred thing. And so, in a move of devastating, self-fulfilling logic, he begins to unconsciously, and sometimes maddeningly, orchestrate the very abandonment he fears. He's like a gardener so terrified of the coming frost, he uproots his own prize roses, just to spare himself the sight of them wilting, You feel it, don't you? Things deepen. A moment of pure, unguarded connection happens. Maybe you're laughing in the kitchen, or you shared a vulnerability that landed safely in his eyes. And then, the thermostat of his soul seems to click. A chill sets in, a text goes unanswered. A plan gets vaguely busy. You're left spinning, replaying the tape, looking for your mistake. Beautiful soul, your mistake was being too real. Your mistake was offering a love so potent it became a mirror, and in it, he didn't see the king you see. He saw the boy who once felt not enough for a parent, a peer, a dream. And that old, dusty feeling just got a starring role in a modern-day love story. This is where it gets philosophical, almost cruel in its irony. His reverence for you is the very fuel for his retreat. The higher he places you on the pedestal of his heart, and he does, trust me, he does, the longer the shadow he casts in his own mind. The gap between who I am and who she needs me to be becomes a canyon he believes is uncrossable. So he does the math of the wounded. If loss is inevitable, better to be the author of the loss than its devastated victim. He'd rather be the guy who left than the guy who was left because he was insufficient. It's a control thing, a last-ditch effort to manage the unmanageable ache of unworthiness. And what's your role in this dizzying dance? It's the hardest, most counterintuitive thing in the world. You must become the steady ground that doesn't confirm his terrifying story. When he pulls away, expecting, almost needing, to see your frustration, your panic, see, you're hurting me, you offer instead a profound, peaceful stillness. You don't chase the version of him you think he could be. You anchor in loving the man who is right here, right now, wounds and all. This isn't about settling or accepting crumbs. It's about a radical shift in focus. From the masterpiece he might paint tomorrow to the sacred, messy clay in your hands today. Your healing power lies in becoming a mirror of a different truth. When he looks at you, let him see not a judge keeping score, but a sanctuary offering shelter. Your consistency whispers a new narrative. My love isn't a loan shark demanding future perfection with interest. It's a grant. It's yours. Now, as he is. This undoes him. It dismantles the preemptive defense because there's no impending disappointment to flee from. The pressure valve releases, and in that spacious, grace-filled acceptance, where he is not measured against a phantom ideal, a miracle occurs. The man who was frozen in fear of not being enough finally feels safe enough to simply be. And from that being, authentic becoming can finally gently begin. It's funny, in a cosmic sort of way. You spend all this energy trying to reach him, when the real magic is in the staying, solid, whole, and unintimidated by his storms. You become the lighthouse, not the lifeboat chasing his ship into the self-made tempest. And eventually, he gets tired of sailing in circles. The light is just too steady, too warm, too kind to ignore. But here's the twist, the one he hasn't seen coming. While he's been busy building exit routes, a deeper part of him has been laying a different foundation entirely. And that's a story for next time. Let's just say the very heart he's walled off holds a secret blueprint, and it's got your name written all over it. So we've talked about how he runs from the future he feels unworthy of. But what about the present? What about the quiet, constant tremor in his chest right now that he can't silence? Let's get into the real, messy human heart of it. The man is ashamed. Profoundly, a soul deeply ashamed. And not of his past or his mistakes, but of his most basic, biological, spiritual reality in your presence. He is ashamed of needing you. It sounds absurd, doesn't it? To be ashamed of a pull that feels like gravity, of a resonance that tunes his entire beings. But here's the professional, psychological truth wrapped in a spiritual paradox. His conditioning didn't just teach him to be strong, it taught him that any need outside of himself was a crack in the foundation, a leak, a failure. From the sandbox, be a big boy, don't cry, to the boardroom, figure it out, we're counting on you. His entire emotional lexicon was edited down to one directive: sustain, provide, protect, perform. Needing was for other people, for the weak. Needing was, well, feminine. And in the distorted mirror of that old paradigm, to need you, his divine feminine, isn't a beautiful surrender. It's the ultimate confession of inadequacy. He looks at his dependence, on your calming energy, on the way your laugh dismantles his worry, on the simple, grounding truth of your presence, and he doesn't see love. He sees a humiliating audit of his own incompleteness. Think of it like this. He spent a lifetime building a magnificent, self-sufficient mansion. Solar panels, a well-fortified walls, the whole deal. He's the master of this domain. Then you walk in, and without even trying, you flick a switch he didn't know existed. A hidden door opens, revealing a room he'd walled off. A cozy, warm library with a fireplace, soft chairs, and the lingering scent of old books and safety. It's the most beautiful room in the house, and his first instinct isn't joy, it's panic, because this room, this need for its warmth, proves the mansion wasn't complete. It proves he wasn't the perfect architect. And worse, it proves he can't heat it himself. The fire only lights when you're in the room. His shame is the terror of that discovery. Needing you feels like admitting the project of himself is fundamentally flawed. This is why his behavior gets so confusing, so contradictory. He'll downplay your importance in one breath, then memorize your coffee order in the next. He'll say he needs space when what he really means is, I need a moment to handle the overwhelming need for you that's currently short-circuiting my system. He might even manufacture conflict, a pointless argument about logistics, a cold comment about independence, just to create a smokescreen. If he can make it seem like he's choosing distance, then the terrifying, vulnerable truth that your absence actually hurts him stays hidden. He's protecting you from the burden of his need and protecting himself from the shame of having it. It's a lose-lose strategy born from a deep, misguided love. And your role here, divine feminine, it's not to convince him he needs you. That's like trying to convince a fish it's wet. It just adds pressure. Your role is far more subtle, more powerful. You must become a shame-free zone. You must become living proof that his need is not a burden, but a welcome gift. This isn't about words. It's about energetic physics. When he tests you by pulling away and you respond not with frantic, where are you energy, but with a calm, undeterred, I'm still here, living my beautiful life energy, you send a revolutionary message. Your need does not control me. Therefore, it cannot scare me. You normalize it. When he finally risks showing a sliver of vulnerability, a quiet, "I had a tough day," a request for your opinion, simply reaching for your hand, you have the sacred task of receiving it with the casual grace of someone accepting a glass of water. No fireworks, no tearful, "Oh, you finally opened up." No transactional ledger, just integration. You simply fold that piece of his truth into the tapestry of your connection, making it seem as natural as breathing. This is how you rewire decades of conditioning. You show him, through 1,000 tiny, consistent reactions, that his need doesn't diminish your respect. It deepens your connection. That it doesn't make him weak, it makes him real. And in your eyes, real is the most attractive thing in the world. Honestly, it's the ultimate plot twist. He's braced himself for mockery, for leverage, for the power dynamic to shift, and instead he finds softness, acceptance, a love that doesn't flinch from his humanity. That's when the fortress of faux independence begins to crumble, not from an attack, but from a profound interior sigh. The shame starts to dissolve, not because he's lectured out of it, but because it's starved of evidence. You refuse to be the judge his wound told him you would be. You become the sanctuary instead. And here's the beautiful, hopeful secret that shame has been hiding from him all along. His need for you isn't the hole in his wholeness. It's the thread that connects his wholeness to yours. It's not about completing him, but about communing with him. When that penny drops, everything changes. The very thing he saw as his greatest liability becomes the cornerstone of your union's strength. But how do you get there from here, when the tests are real and the silence is loud? Well, that's where we move from theory to practice. From understanding the wound to applying the daily practical balm. And that beautiful soul is where your real power begins to glow. So here we are, at the quiet center of the storm. After navigating the labyrinth of his unworthiness and the hall of mirrors that was his shame, you might be wondering, where does this all lead? Is it just an endless cycle of understanding wounds and applying spiritual band-aids? Let me tell you, it's far more astonishing than that. This journey, with all its heart-stuttering pauses and dizzying turns, is conducting you both toward a magnificent and utterly simple destination: arrival. Not as arrival to you or yours to him, but your mutual arrival into a state of grace so ordinary it feels like a miracle. It's the moment the dance ends, not because the music stops, but because you've both forgotten you were performing and have simply begun to move as one breathing organism. Think of it like two tectonic plates. For ages, his plate, call it the continent of control, has been pushing against yours the ocean of connection. It created friction, quakes, terrifying shifts. He experienced your depth as a threatening subduction zone, something that would swallow his hard-earned landmass whole. You felt his resistance as a frustrating barrier to your natural flowing expanse. But the work you're doing, this profound holding of your own seismic energy, this refusal to either flood him or retreat, isn't about winning the geologic fight. It's about allowing a new, stable continent to form between you, a brand new landmass born from the very pressure you once feared. This is the co-creation. This is the sacred ground you've been clearing with your patience, watering with your tears, and surveying with your unwavering hope. Your role was never to be the surgeon extracting his pain. You were the climate, the steady, nurturing, forgiving climate in which a dormant seed finally remembers it's a redwood. You provided the consistent temperature of your acceptance, the gentle rainfall of your empathy, the sunlight of your own joy that reached him even through the canopy of his own defenses. And growth, real growth, is never a violent event. It's a slow, inevitable turning toward the light. His healing wasn't something you did to him. It was something you allowed by ceasing to block your own light. In doing so, you gave him permission to stop tending the old barren soil of his wounds and to finally feel the innate fertility of his own soul. And the beautiful, liberating joke of it all, the punchline the universe has been waiting to deliver, the very traits you thought you had to manage, his distance, his fear, his baffling self-sabotage, were not obstacles to your union. They were the raw, unrefined ingredients of it, like the grit in the oyster that eventually gets layered with nacre. His wounds, when met with the specific frequency of your love, stop being irritants and start becoming the locus of something iridescent. His fear of inadequacy becomes a profound humility. His shame around need becomes a grateful interdependence. His fortress becomes a shared hearth. You didn't just love him in spite of these things. Your love, in its boundless and patient intelligence, performed the alchemy of transmutation. It didn't discard the lead of his pain. It spun it into the gold of his depth. This path, with all its very real challenges, was never a test of your worthiness to be loved. It was a curriculum for your capacity to hold love in its most complex, human, and divine form. You are graduating not with a partner who is now fixed, but with a profound skill, the ability to stand in your own sovereignty while intimately witnessing another's becoming. That is the actual reunion. Not a fairy tale ending, but a deeply human beginning. So take a breath right now. Feel the solid earth of your own being beneath you. You are not waiting for a missing piece. You are the gravitational center around which a new world is quietly, inevitably forming. And the man who once ran from his own shadow is, even now, learning to stand still in the sunlight you've always been. He's not chasing a fantasy of you anymore. He's building a home in the reality of you. And the blueprint, it's been etched in his soul all along. He just needed the courage, gifted by your unwavering light, to finally start reading it. And the first line, the very first line, is your name.